Taiwan sits on the edge of the Pacific Ring of Fire, one of the most volatile regions of the Earth, home to volcanoes, earthquakes, not to mention the occasional typhoon. I'm at the corner of Keelong and Wuxin roads in central Taipei. Beneath me is a fault in the Earth's crust, literally a giant crack. Any movement here can and does set off earthquakes. Now, can you believe it? 200 metres away is the tallest building in the world, Taipei 101, half a kilometre from bottom to top. The latest three-dimensional steel construction technology using high-performance concrete makes this building as strong as a rock and as flexible as bamboo. The engineering marvel at the core of this design is a 660-tonne steel ball suspended on wire ropes, and this is located at levels 88 and 89. This massive pendulum counteracts or dampens movements in the building from wind or earthquakes. Just amazing. Life at the top can be short and sweet. After only 4 years as the world's tallest building, Taipei 101 is about to be eclipsed. However, nothing is going to take away the incredible views that it offers of this fantastic city.
When you're here at the Taiwan International Orchid Show, it's easy to get overwhelmed by the sensory overload of colour and beauty. And as far as I'm concerned, all of the orchids here are simply stunning. But to the more discerning orchid expert, some are better than others. Take Mr. Chen, for example. He's the expert's expert. He heads a panel of around 200 local and international judges who are on a mission to single out the best varieties within the different orchid families. It's a tough gig, but someone's got to do it. Now, there are lots of different categories and lots of winners.
Yes.
But is there one orchid that wins the whole show, like a grand champion?
This year, I have 1,046 plants in the show, but only one can get grand champion.
What is it about that one, and which one is it? Which species?
That one is a Phalaenopsis. It's a fighter flower, have a 3 spike, and have 76 flowers.
76?
Yeah, 76 flowers. And the color is a very pure white.
And where's that orchid from? Is that local?
Local. It's from Taiwan. Yes.
Beautiful.
Yeah, very beautiful.
Now, some of these new varieties are absolutely mesmerising, but what's just as fascinating is what goes on behind the scenes to breed these beauties. And we're going to find out more about that later in the programme.
Just 20 minutes across bustling Taipei is a great example of the early Chinese architecture and garden styles preserved for the people of Taiwan and visitors for the country to enjoy. The patriarch of the Lin family arrived from China into Taiwan in 1778. Now, it was his son, Ling Ping-ho, who was the most influential member of the family. He was a successful trader, and he developed an enormous wealth, and with that came tremendous influence in the Taiwanese community. Now, the house and gardens here are enormous. There's over 20,000 square metres of them, and today they're considered a cultural treasure. The architecture is typical Chinese style with distinctive swallowtail roof design and Ming Dynasty style tiling. Now, the garden is broken into segments or rooms that would once have allowed privacy for the families that were living here. The moon gates are an outstanding feature leading from one side of the garden to the other. Now, this feature is typical in traditional Chinese gardens, and it's meant to provide a welcoming entrance to the garden of only the wealthiest Chinese. If you're into watching traditional Chinese dramas, these grounds may be familiar. They're the backdrop to many Chinese movies, providing a unique period setting. It's common to see people in traditional costume here participating in some form of cultural festival, play or drama. Now, the garden is very much the traditional Chinese style, but it has some remarkable components to it. Now, one of them is that all the materials, the stone and even the beautiful camphor timber that makes up most of the buildings was brought from China, along with the craftsmen who actually constructed it. Now, the garden's design principles are really unique as well. You see, they've employed the feng shui principles all the way through. The aim here being to create positive qi, or positive energy. So when you leave the garden, you leave with a real sense of well-being. It's a big destination for families, and the locals bring all the family with the kids who enjoy it the most, feeding ducks and marvelling at the enormous koi carp that swim the ponds. Every once in a while you'll get a glimpse of something that reminds you the gardens have been restored in 2000. If they hadn't have been, strangler figs like this would quickly break the walls and buildings down with their amazing root systems. Now, this one started from a seed dropped on the top of the wall in bird droppings and has quickly taken off. Eventually, it would completely crumble the wall and cover an area of several hundred square metres. Now, this is more than just a garden. It's an insight into Chinese culture here in Taiwan. Coming up after the break, Nev heads south and I head east as we show you more of this beautiful country.
Explore!
Thanks to Travel Associates and China Airlines, fly Economy Direct to Taipei for $1,562 from Brisbane, $1,568 from Sydney, or $1,738 from Melbourne. Stay 4 nights at the Howard Plaza Hotel in Taipei for just $742 per person, twin share, including airport transfers, breakfast and an all-inclusive day tour to Taroka Gorge. These offers are available for travel before the 31st of March 2009. So call Travel Associates on 1800 044 066 or check out this website to find out more.